6 months later, and we finally have a finishing to the first episode. But the thing is, that story is actually already finished. So this episode would be more of a follow-up. Now, I've gotten a lot of feedback regarding that first episode, and it feels, I was told it felt choppy, felt rough, felt unfinished. People felt like they were left hanging, and I totally agree with you. That episode, or just everything about that, was just super rough, and there's a reason behind it. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about what happened leading up to the point where we were filming, during the filming, and what happened after, because that is a story in itself. So enjoy. So the original plan when filming that first episode was to film once I completely moved out and completely finished cleaning, so there would be no reason for me to step foot in that apartment again. So for a few months back, I only used the living room and the kitchen. I no longer used the bedroom for anything other than storing clothes and laundry. And the bedroom was pretty much empty. No bed, no nothing in there. Went into the bedroom and I started taking clothes and just started throwing them real quick. And the thing is, anytime that I'm in this bedroom, I definitely have that feeling that I'm not alone. Constant chills, just anxious, and it had to be done. So I pushed through and I just started going. So halfway through packing, I hear a sound behind me, and it sounds like a cardboard box being pushed across the floor. And it was kind of like a really quick sound. So I stop, turn around, and the room is completely empty. There are no boxes in this room, not even nothing. There's like one lamp, but that's about it. But it happened so quick, so I was just like, I'm freaking out already. I'm probably just hearing things. So I continue to pack these clothes. So I'm packing these clothes, and then I hear the box sound again, getting pushed across the floor. And this time it is definite, and it cuts through, and I hear it, and there's no denying it. So at that point, I'm like, screw that. It's time to call the guys. Vince. Sergio. I know I said that we're filming tomorrow, but weird stuff is happening. Can you film now? Dope. I'll pick you up. I'll pick you up right now. I go pick up these guys. We grab extra cameras, microphones, cables, a laptop, stands, pretty much whatever we thought we needed. Nothing was prepared. We were somewhat scrambling. So we get back to the apartment, we start setting up. Now, as you can see from this footage, as we were setting up, there was still a good amount of packing that I needed to do, a good amount of cleaning that still needed to be done. But it was already dark. I was hearing weird noises. I wasn't trying to be there by myself. And if I was going to catch something that night, that was going to be the time. So when we got there, we made sure all the memory cards were all fresh and freshly formatted to avoid any of the footage getting corrupt. We tested all the microphones, made sure that they were recording and everything tested good, and everything was recording just fine, cameras and microphones. When we finally get to shooting the story, it takes forever. It took forever because my thoughts were just so scrambled and I didn't have an outline or a direction of how I wanted to tell this story. So when we finally get to the point where the story was finished, we stop all the cameras and we walk out of the room. Now we start walking out to the kitchen and the living room. I walk up to the laptop that's recording all the microphones, and Sergio goes to the last camera that we had sitting in the living room that was kind of pointing towards the hallway and the mirrors and the kitchen, just because we couldn't see that area while we were telling the story. In this footage, this old footage that we have, like the camera was still on, and I walk up to the computer and you can briefly see that there were no waveforms on that computer. So the thing is, the microphones recorded nothing. And during the test recordings, they totally recorded just fine. But once we stepped into that room, there was absolutely nothing being recorded. The computer was totally rolling and recording, but no audio was actually captured. Another thing is when Sergio walks up to the camera, you can hear in this footage, I think, and you can overhear him say, "Oh, this camera wasn't recording." But the thing is, he pushed record before he walked in. He saw the red light. I also confirmed that I saw the red light before walking into that room. And when we reviewed the footage, pretty much as soon as we walked into the room, the camera stops recording. Sergio asked if I wanted to tell the story again, and just so we can make sure that outside camera was recording. And without hesitation, I said no, for multiple reasons. One reason why I didn't want to was it took way too long to tell the story to begin with. And second, if the ghosts didn't want to be recorded, I'm okay with that. I respect that. I respect their space, and I'm not trying to have anything follow me. Screw that. So because that camera out in the living room didn't record that additional angle, and we didn't have any audio actually recorded from those hallway microphones, that was one of the reasons why the video seemed incomplete. I was wanting to supplement that story with that additional angle and hopefully sprinkle some actual evidence of a ghost presence, but we were unsuccessful in achieving any of that kind of footage. So we leave, we call it a night, and nothing really spooky happened that night. The next day, I still had to go back to the apartment and finish taking all the rest of my crap out and finish cleaning. I had until 2 p.m. to finish up because that's when I was meeting the property manager. It was no big deal. I figured it was daytime, there'll be sunlight, it'll be okay that I'm by myself. So I go, load up the rest of the stuff in my van, finish cleaning. The last thing I needed to clean in the apartment was the bedroom. So I vacuumed the floors, and all I had to do was clean the mirrors. So this part you're gonna have to use your imagination because the closet that I currently have does not have any doors, and I'm not even trying to have any closet doors that are mirrors anymore for the rest of my life. While I'm cleaning, I have a Bluetooth speaker playing a playlist off of my phone, sitting in the kitchen. I'm cleaning the mirrors, and as I'm cleaning, I hear the music stop, which is cool. Because typically, you know, when someone calls you and something's playing, the music will stop, then you start hearing the ring. But the phone doesn't ring. What happens is the next song starts to play in the playlist. So that's fine. A little bit weird because the previous song wasn't completely finished, but whatever. So I go back to cleaning the mirrors, and this time maybe 20 or 30 seconds pass on that next song, and then the music stops again. So I stop, and then I wait to hear if my phone rings. But now the next song in the playlist starts to play. Now I'm starting to think like this is kind of weird because now it's happened 2 times, and that's not usually something that happens. So now I'm paying attention to the music as I'm cleaning, and then the music stops. The music stops, it's silent, and then it jumps to a song I've never heard before. A song that I would probably never listen to. So at that point, I say, screw it. I don't need my deposit back. I'm just gonna get the F out of this apartment. So I go outside and just wait for the apartment manager to show up. He shows up, we do the walkthrough. He says we're all good. I give him my keys and I'm about to head out. And as I'm walking out, I was like, this is my only opportunity to ask. So I ask him, I say, hey man, in all the time that you've spent managing properties, have you ever had a tenant complain about a place being haunted? And he kind of like laughs, and then he's like, why? Is this place haunted? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this place is haunted because there's a bunch of things that I can't explain. And then he then says, I'll make sure to put that in the ad for the next tenant. And then laughs it off and we go our separate ways. That concludes the story of what happened before, during, and after the last days of my haunted apartment. Hope you enjoyed. Whatever.
I don't think you've recorded that much from this one.
That's cool. The ghost probably turned that shit off.
Yeah.
Why would it stop recording though?
I have no idea.
Which corner? Oh, that corner right there? Dang. That's the corner that the toy was floating.
But yeah, when I would walk in to the door, like right here,
Yeah.
there